The tale of the Dragonhundreds of years ago. Beneath the royal castle of Wawel, there lay a cruel and menacing three-headed dragon named Smog Wawel. He lived in a cold dark cave surrounded by bats and snakes who bore witness to the dragon's villainous acts. The nearby villagers always knew if Smog Wawel was about to wreak havoc, they would hear the tremendous thundering of his mighty roar. As he soared over the villages in Krakow, his enormous wings blocked out the sun and cast massive shadows over the houses below. Smog's favorite wicked act was to breathe fire onto the villagers' farm animals, crops, and the villagers themselves. He preferred his food to be smoked and crispy. The trouble caused by the dragon was so bad that farmers started to keep their livestock inside at all times to make sure the animals did not become Smog's next meal. That meant that Smog swooped down upon the people themselves when they needed to go outside. And so Smog developed a taste for people. Then Smog became ever more fussy about his meals. He would only calm down when the villagers sacrificed young women to satisfy his appetite. Every young woman for miles around disappeared, and the only young woman left in Krakow was the king's daughter. It was then the king knew that the dreadful dragon must be slain. The king's guards traveled to every village in the country carrying this message: our cherished towns will bear no more destruction. There's but one solution: someone must step forth and slay Smog. He who saves our towns will marry the princess and later become king. The eyes of each man in the crowd lit up with the thought of winning the princess' heart and becoming the king. The challenge became the talk of the town, and the people underestimated the difficulty that lay ahead. Countless men who thought they would be excellent dragon slayers were brought down one by one by the creature's colossal strength. The country was devastated and the king grew desperate. The whole country was in this sorry state when a young apprentice named Patrick arrived at the king's gates. The boy was new to town and known to no one, but he had come to the castle with a courageous request. Patrick wore no armor and carried no weapon, but he did have a cunning plan. The king listened closely to the boy's plan, which involved nothing but a needle, thread, a dead lamb, and sulfur. The king was in desperate need of a hero that he agreed that the boy could attempt what so many knights have failed to achieve. That evening the people of Wawel surrounded the boy's small cottage and peered in through the window. They saw Patrick cut open the lamb's body. That he placed the sulfur inside and then sewed up the opening. One onlooker suggested that Patrick was to chase the dragon away with the horrid stench of sulfur. The alchemist would kill the dragon almost instantly. As the sun crept into the sky on the following morning, a crowd of helpful men and women waited in Wawel. They looked towards the mountains where Patrick climbed the 1,000 steps to Smog's lair. The journey to the cave was long and steep, yet Patrick climbed steadily. Then he carried the lamp over his shoulder. As Patrick neared the mouth of the dragon's lair, he lit a small fire on the lamp and ran to the stream to hide in the water. The ground quaked as Smog appeared from the dark, and the dragon's eyes fell on the lamp. Patrick began to count down from 10 as Smog swallowed the bait. The dragon looked pleased with his meal and turned to return to his lair. As Patrick counted 7, Smog's stomach began to rumble. The dragon stumbled. The next day the people of the country celebrated Patrick's triumph. The king proclaimed that Patrick was the smartest boy he had ever met and invited him to meet Princess Wanda. It was decided from then on that to be a knight one does not need only to be mighty with strength, but also with intellect. And if you were to visit Wawel Cathedral today, you will find that Smog's bones dangle from the gargoyles on the walls. Legend has it that the cave in the mountains is filled with bones and the gorgeous treasures Smog collected. It has never yet been found.